According to information obtained by TV Republika, 2 further violations of Polish airspace occurred last night. 2 unidentified objects were reportedly recorded in the vicinity of Dubica Serkiewne in Podlasie. So far, the Ministry of National Defence has not confirmed the incident, and after recent incidents in which drones from the east flew into Polish territory without any control and were found after crashing in the Lublin and Podlasie regions, more and more questions are being asked about the country's anti-drone protection. Recent events involving drones flying into Poland from the east do not inspire optimism. There are 2 methods known to the Russian Federation that are used against various countries. First, to actually test the effectiveness of our air defense system at this level below radar, because drones do test this system below radar. And the second goal is, of course, to cause some anxiety in society. The situation looks even more dangerous because it was only after the drones crashed that residents of Podlasie and Lublin found them. If we want to build this system, we will never build a system so tight that no drone, I'm not talking about missiles, I hope we will be able to stop all missiles, so that no drone can fly through. Poles have a system that they should not have, namely a system of citizen control. We spend enough money, 4 or 5% of Poland's GDP, to have advanced anti-drone systems that are operational and not stored somewhere and gathering dust. During yesterday's press conference, the Defence Ministry spokesman was asked about protecting the country from drones and about the Sky Control anti-drone system purchased during the Law and Justice government. After almost 2 years in power, all the current authorities can do in such a fundamental matter as the security of our society is to improvise, even if it is imaginative and creative. Unfortunately, on the one hand, this does not sound reassuring, and on the other, it gives the Russians a reason to be satisfied. All the more so because the system that should protect Polish airspace from the most threatened eastern side is not doing so. The dozen or so systems that were purchased by Minister Mariusz Błaszczak after the famous violation of our public space by a Belarusian helicopter are not being modernized or updated, and there is no cooperation with Polish companies because of economic patriotism. There is a system acquired during the Law and Justice government, the Sky Control system. Yesterday, the spokesman for the Ministry of National Defence stated that it is not deployed at the border. I asked why. Why was no investment made in modernizing this system? This is another very important question, and the key question is why the drones that flew into Polish airspace were not shot down.
Panie premierze, jak z tymi dronami?
We tried to ask the head of the Ministry of National Defence about the Sky Control anti-drone system, but to no avail. His colleagues from the December 13th coalition came forward with explanations. We should create a system that will detect these drones, but I don't know whether this is technologically feasible and possible, as they fly quite low from what I know. I hope that Minister Kosiniak will find a solution. Sometimes it's not about shooting down the drone immediately, but knowing its flight path and letting it crash or land in an open field, as was the case in these 2 instances. I also think there is no point in fueling the spiral of fear. We have a well-equipped and well-trained army, and it can handle this, believe me, gentlemen. This argument misses the mark because no one is investigating the flight paths of these drones. They fall and are found by local residents. These are complex systems that cannot be implemented in 6 months or a year. As the Minister of National Defence assures us, the coming months will lead to the definitive closure of these monitoring systems, including those monitoring very low-altitude flying objects. We are literally just a short time away from completing this. But that does not answer the question of why the Ministry of National Defence, which has not implemented the new system, is not using it and, as everything indicates, is not modernising the system that was implemented earlier. I assume that he had every reason to make such a decision, and I assume that, in parallel with this, work is underway to secure this matter, perhaps with newer equipment, perhaps with newer technology, a newer solution. Poland has been equipped with the Sky Control system which allows these drones to be neutralised. Why the current Minister of National Defence does not use, update or effectively maintain this system is a question for the Minister of National Defence. The head of the Ministry of National Defence has so far boasted about signing a contract for the Barbara anti-drone aerostat system. What could be the reason for suspending the Sky Control system? I'm afraid that it was for political reasons, due to the fact that the Sky Control system and the Jestrom drone shooting system were designed and ordered during the Law and Justice era. At the moment, we have nothing at our disposal because the use of these systems has been blocked for political reasons. The whole thing also looks strange from the point of view of communication with Poles, because, so far, Polish Prime Minister Tusk, who does not shy away from commenting on even less important matters, has not spoken out on this issue. That is why the opposition is proposing rapid changes that could improve the situation by using mythical European defence funds. On behalf of the Law and Justice Parliamentary Club, I demand that the money from this source be allocated to a drone factory that will produce a large number of drones that are easy to operate and low cost. Let's hope that falling drones from the east do not become part of our everyday life.